Hi everyone, my name is Cyril Cowan and Michael Cowan here, my husband. We got married 2015 in the Philippines. Now we are here to answer the question.
Why is it more fun and more amazing to have your wedding in the Philippines?
Yeah, so I can tell you the fun part. The fun part is obviously this special occasion is very important for both of us, especially for me as a Filipina girl, to share it with my close family, like my grandma, my first cousins, my aunties, my uncles, and any other families I have growing up. So we chose to get married in the Philippines in Agua Fria Resort in South Cotabato. So we chose that area because it's so private, and of course the cost. So the
Yeah.
more
Cost was a very, very big factor.
yeah,
It really
so
was.
so the more lesser we're gonna spend, the more fun of spending.
Yeah, well, no, it's absolutely true because at the end of the day, weddings in the Philippines are infinitely more affordable than Australia. You know, the average Australian wedding, from what I've heard from my friends, is about 40 or 50,000. I think we spent 10 or 15. And we had a huge wedding. We really did. And we fed everyone, and we provided dresses for the bridesmaids and suits for the groomsmen. And, you know, it was all taken care of at a fraction of what it would have cost an Australian wedding. And because of that, we were able to have more fun because, you know, we don't have an infinite budget. And it's
Yeah.
very important. It really
Yeah.
is, you know.
So we actually planned our wedding here from Australia. So internet has a very big help with us communicating with our suppliers, with our photographers, with the venue, of course. So one we use is our photographer from Eugene Photography. So it costs us less than what we should have spent here in Australia when we initially inquired.
What's made the wedding amazing was the scenery.
Yeah.
It was lovely to see, although I had been there previously, it was lovely to see my wife's state and the neighbouring state of South Cotabato,
It's
where
amazing.
we got married, and to see the Dagoma Ranges, which featured heavily in our prenuptial. We had our prenuptial at the Sultan Kudarat State Palace. Now, it's one of the biggest palaces in the Southern Hemisphere, and we featured very few locations near the front steps, in several of the rooms, and also on the roof, as you can see pictured here. And it basically allowed us to express, and allowed me and my wife to express my wife's culture and the area that she's from, which is very, very important. My wife mentioned earlier about family, but culture and scenery and heritage is also very important, and that building has a lot of heritage for people of Sultan Kudarat. The fact that we had a garden wedding as well
Yeah.
was beautiful. The Philippine weather actually held up the day that we had the wedding. You know, the Philippines, it's usually very hot, very humid.
Humid.
It wasn't so bad on our wedding.
Yeah.
Which was great because I mean my wife of course was dressed to head to toe in the best wedding dress that we could possibly afford, and I had a suit on.
Yeah, which we purchased here.
Yeah, and you know, you wouldn't want to be caught doing that in the Philippines when the humidity is cranked up to maximum and it's 38 degrees, and that simply didn't happen, which was wonderful. So,
Yeah.
and so you too could get lucky like that if you if you have your wedding in the Philippines. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's what one of the reason as well we choose our venue is so that our visitors or family members can have a swimming after the ceremony as well. That's
Yeah,
why
it had
we choose
a-
Agua Fria Resort.
It had a great swimming pool, and the food there was lovely. It really was.
Yeah.
The wedding cake was lovely.
Smashed.
Yeah. The lechon was lovely. I think there was some afrittata there. It was, you know, it's
Yeah.
really the Philippine cuisine is another reason that weddings are amazing in the Philippines. The food is so much better in the Philippines than it is in Australia. It really is. And of course, if you marry a Filipina, that is another part of their culture, and that's
Yeah.
reflected in having a Filipino wedding.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just thought that we'd present that to you today, and we hope that you've enjoyed our video, and we hope that we've answered the question. Have a lovely day, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye, guys. Bye.